Welcome back to the channel. My name is Boss, and today we're going to talk about why most people are wearing the wrong sized bra. When we were growing up, Victoria's Secret was kind of the only place that existed, and through its branding and marketing, we've all been given this wrong idea that a D cup is like the biggest thing ever. And I'm here to dispel that with you today. Which is why I am so avid about the international sizing. When we use UK sizing, it sounds less scary, right? Like an FF is really an H, and an H sounds like what? Like, is that even real? But it is. And when you use the UK sizing in cahoots with US sizing, it gets really confusing. And so we're going to talk about that today as well. Typically what happens, and I've had clients who are like, oh, I just went to this boutique, I just went to this department store, I just went to this place and they fit me at this and they fit me at this, or, you know, and the reality is that some stores may not have range, they may not have the product that is needed to properly fit a client, and so they're gonna do their best with what they have. I cannot knock that either. But what ends up happening a lot of the time, in order for the cup to fit, what I've seen happen is people are going up in the band. And so with the band being larger, the bra is less snug, and therefore you're able to not have spillage in the breast tissue. But a lot of times when that happens, that cup is not properly circulating around the breast tissue. There shouldn't be a wire on top of your breast tissue. And that is really important when it comes to health. The same way that in the center, sometimes a cup will be too small and you'll see that it might not hurt actually, but if you look at it, it'd be pressing on the breast tissue, and that's a no-go. We don't want that. We want the best health practices for everyone who's wearing a bra. So with places fitting with a looser band, they're able to give you a smaller cup because they're not carrying beyond an F cup, a triple D, or a G cup, a quad D, right? But all of the support is coming from the band. Therefore, the band must be snug. So if you're loose on the band, small in the cup, you're able to fit the client. What ends up happening is, to feel like their boobs are up, clients will tighten their straps as much as they can. And next thing you know, if you're able to scoop them up enough, they'll kind of be there, but the bra is just constantly riding up. And I think that has then created other habits that I've seen in the fitting rooms, where clients are constantly pulling their bras down because they're so used to it riding up. So that when I put them in a proper fitting bra, they're still yanking it down, but that's not good, because when a bra is properly fitting around, pulling it down will actually create space between your breast tissue and the bra. When I say flush, I mean flush, okay? So right under the breast tissue, right there. Not below, not way far below, and not so above that you're pulling your breast tissue. Again, breast tissue is super, super sensitive, and you might not feel the poking right away, but we have to be mindful of these things. So what I've seen on Reddit, what I've seen on fitting rooms is that when someone goes and gets a proper bra fitting, they are shocked by their band size, by their circumference around, because of what we just spoke about, and because people don't realize how narrow this part of their body is, right? Like, your bra is not supposed to be around your waist or your ribs. It's supposed to be right under your breasts. So we're gonna go down in the band. We wanna make sure that we are on the loosest hook and snug comfortably. And what are you gonna do? That's right, you're gonna do the lift and lean method, and you're gonna check if that band is secure and not moving anywhere. Now, in the end of the day, a fitter is always going to defer to what the client wants to do. And that is very important, because as bra fitters, we're here to collaborate with you to find you what you need, okay? So if you prefer your bras unbearably tight, I'm gonna do that for you, as much as it pains me. If you're someone who literally feels like they can crawl out of their body because their bra is way too tight and they want it to be loose and maybe not as supportive. As much as I want the best support for you, I want you to be happy with what you're wearing, happy with what you're purchasing. So it is important to keep those things in mind. I have my laptop here with a couple of notes of what I wanted to talk about today. And so I think we've addressed why people are in the wrong size, and you know what to look for. So when you are going down to that smaller band, you're gonna need to go up in the cup. And that's where there's this flip. You know, I've had a lot of clients who've also gone to get augmentations, whether it's a reduction or enhancement to increase breast tissue. The volume that a surgeon might use does not translate to bras, because the D cup, for example, is not going to be the same D in the 28 band, in the 38 band, in the 48 band. Those are all going to be different Ds because the bras are made in proportions. You have your band sizes and you have your alphabets. And so getting into the alphabets, you have some brands who do cater to a double A, shout out Anita. And so you'll go double A, B, C, D. So then we have double D, which is a E. We have F, which is a triple D, and G, which is a 4D. That is the D's, double D, triple D is US sizing. If you're gonna go F, G, H, it's technically international. I've just created my own and call it international because it's kind of bringing all of them together. So then what you see with a UK brand, this is where your brain's gonna hurt, and hopefully by now I'm putting visuals on these videos. So when you go to UK sizing, a double D is a E, right? And then an E is an F, so you're going up. And then an F is a G, an FF is an H, a G is an I, a GG is a J. Yes. An H is a K. An HH is an L. A J is an M, a JJ is an N, and a K is an O. Spelling bee. And that's where it ends. That's where it typically ends for majority of the brands that I know. Now we have Nessa who enters the chat. Nessa enters the chat, a Polish brand who is carrying SP. Now, I've had the opportunity to work with this brand recently, and I will say, it is a very specific kind of make. So Nessa does go up to those sizes, but their underwire is really narrow. Brands like Alomi, Panache, these UK brands, they have a wider underwire. So this is like the nuances with body types. And then, for example, the Nessa has a much more narrow underwire. So this is like where it gets really specific. And on top of that, Nessa's cups are actually really shallow. So even though the cup is, you know, LMNO, P, you know, RS, it's not really equivalent to the UK sizing because they are really shallow. So I find myself going up a cup, sometimes two, when using Nessa. So with that being said, if these companies that you're shopping at, these stores, which I hope you're doing these in stores and not online, you know, if you're going down to the band and they don't go past an F cup or a G cup, then you're kind of screwed. And this is why boutiques are so important, because they carry those sizes that you're not seeing in department stores. So that's that. And then I wanted to talk to you guys about like what kind of bras should you have in your drawer, how many you should have, and all that kind of stuff. Typically when I am like finishing up with a client, I'll always ask them like, how are you washing your bras? And everyone has their own method, so I'll touch on that quickly. The most ideal thing for you to do is to hand wash your bras. That's just the most gentle thing. Don't use any Wool Light, anything that has color. anything that's going to deteriorate the lace, elastic, natural fibers, okay? So you want something clear, clean and clear, something very gentle. Soak is an amazing product that you literally just soak your bras in. And then there's Forever New that's been around forever. And they have an enzyme in their solution that helps elastic bounce back. Now, I've not used Forever New, but I've sold Forever New and people love it. I do have soak. I use it, it is really gentle. I use it mostly to hand wash my underwear, and then I've also used it to clean out my makeup brushes. Shout out soak. So it's important how you wash your bras to keep its longevity. Bras are not cheap, they are investments, but you wear them every day. So it's important that you take care of them in the best of your abilities. If you are too lazy like me to hand wash your bras, you can get a mesh bag. I use an Evelyn Bobby mesh bag, but you can find one anywhere online. And you just put your bras in there and put the mesh bag in the machine. Always cold water, ideally no heat, but I do dry mine on low heat. It takes like 2 cycles, but to each their own. Let me know how you are washing your bras, okay? So that's washing your bras. And then what kind of bras to have, okay? So for me, like, I don't really need bras, but I have them now, you know, because I know my size and there's cute shit and I want them. So I would say it's good to have like a good work bra, whatever that is for you. You know, for my nurses, whether it be a sports bra, you know, for my professionals, whether it be the most minimizing thing, you know, that's up to you and your wardrobe. And I think that's like a big element that is sometimes missing, because your bras need to make sense for your outerwear. So your comfortable minimizer might not be the best thing for a formal event. And as I mentioned that, I'm gonna say that for formal events, you're gonna typically want something that's gonna really bring you forward, because typically gowns for special occasions are going to be like heavier material. You're going to want more definition in your figure, and so we need those boobs lifted, okay? So I think it's good to have like a molded bra, a non-molded bra, both in underwire, and then the same thing, wire free, molded, non-molded, wire free. So that's like 4. A sports bra, I've got a couple, let's say 2. A strapless, because you just never know when you need a strapless. And that's it. And then however many you feel like you need within those categories, because I don't always want to wear my push-up bras. I don't always want to wear an underwire. And I think it's important to have diversity, and especially with having more bras to rotate through, your bras can last you longer, and that's the goal, right? And then with that being said, I would recommend getting fitted every 6 months. Doesn't mean that you have to go and shop and buy new bras every 6 months, though if there's cute shit, by all means. But it's good to get refit and see where you're at. You know, I've had clients bring in their old bras. I don't love it, especially because they're typically like years old, not like recent. A lot of times people forget to make their adjustments, like checking the lift and lean method, which now you should know, okay? Like adjusting their straps, you know, these little things. So it's good to just get refit, see where you're at, and kind of go from there. And I think with that, you know, I've had a lot of clients who are going through significant weight loss, and it's just such a journey, it's such a process, and it's nothing fits them anymore, and so they need something new, but they're still on a journey. And I've heard different kind of mentalities around this, feeling like, well, when I'm at my actual weight, then I'll get something. And though I understand that, I think it is important to prioritize something that fits you now, in the same way that it's like, oh, you know, I'm holding on to these bras because I used to be this weight, and you know, I hope to get to that weight again. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think we have to also Just recognize that we're humans and we don't always fluctuate in the ways that we want. And so you might lose 50 pounds, but you don't get to choose where you're losing it, unfortunately. And so we're gonna need to refit you and make sure we find you something that works now. And so, of course, this is like very personal to each client, and we do our best to uplift our clients and make them feel good about themselves. And I think that having something that fits you now while you continue on this journey will help with that, so that you can feel more confident and better in your clothes. Especially if you're exercising, you're gonna want something that's gonna fit you now. And I know it sounds like, damn, that's so expensive. And it does sound expensive. I don't even like argue that. But I think it's just like a reality. And I think as bra wearers, we need to, especially for the people who like really need them every day, you know? I'm speaking from the freedom of my unhoused boobs right now, okay? But for those people who need it, I know it's expensive, and there are definitely some great like price ranges out there. But I think for you to feel good is the most important thing, and that really does make a difference with what you have as your base layer. And so with that being said, okay, yeah, I think I covered all of my points for today's video. It's been so exciting to share all of my knowledge and experience of the things that I've seen and learned along the way. It's nice to take a break from all the brand recaps, but we will revisit them with more imagery. I love you guys, and have a good weekend.